to invest because this character I so fell in love with. You know, I loved her so much. I thought she really deserved to have an actress who was implicated in and caring about this character. She became kind of like my best friend, kind of. And that's when you know that you're able to play it, when the character starts to be your best friend and you know how she's going to react. That's really interesting.
I like this kind of character, that you can't understand him at the first look, you know? You have to play him and to give some keys to the audience to understand him and like him. But at the beginning, it's clearly someone is a little bit cold and macho, so close. Yeah, I think he had a difficult education with his father. We can see that at the moment. I think his father was a little bit rude with him, with no hope, with no trust on him, and so yeah, he's trying to live comment on dit, ses armes, quoi. His weapons. You understand?
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
But clearly the difficult part for me, it was to let the audience understand who is this guy and trying to like him a little bit in this kind of film, which is a dynamic movie, with a rhythm, a romantic comedy from the 50s. Sometimes I was afraid that we didn't have the time to understand the way of being of this guy. But I think we understand, so a little bit.
My mother comes from the 50s. She was 20 in the 50s, and she has not the same way of Rose Pamphile, because she works she worked in a farmer, with her parents, and but she decided to stop that and go to town to work, and it was very difficult to do that. And we know a lot of things about women emancipation, because you can read, you can watch movies during the 60s about that. But the beginning of the emancipation is very important, and it's very. I like to see the beginning of the stuff, because you can understand a lot of things about our own history, So I do that like that,
It's important to be number one, as they say in the movie.
Hands over the keyboard.
I think it's a good message for girls from today to show them where we came from, and to show them it's not over, because women of my age tends to think that it's over. We have it. It's okay. Your boss cannot grab your ass anymore. So that's it. But that's not it, actually. We still don't have the same salaries. We're still not enough represented in politics. In big boss are not women usually. There's a lot of stuff, and around the world it's not over at all. So maybe that could remind, in a light way, of course. It's not, it's not a revendication, but it could remind women of my age that we still want to continue that.
Mm-hmm. And even if it's a comedy, when you see the film, it can be a little bit shocking, because the character of Romain is a macho man, totally.
Yeah, but look, all the journey we've done since the 50s, It's amazing.
Very short space of time, actually.
And it's very funny, because women audience are not joking about that. They think it's very funny to see that. And sometimes it's men who are joking, and they are more joking than the women say, oh, wow.
Yeah, they're more feminist.
Yes, more feminists.
Because they realize if they would behave like this, the women in life would go like, what do you think you are?
Yeah, and they are liars when they say that. It's so funny.
Marie, yes, but I really liked this. That was helped me to understand my character, you know, because Marie is wearing the key of understand my Louis Echard, you know, because his clothes, because of her, because she broke his heart. So when I played this scene, you know, when Louis is getting to marry and comment on dit, ils se mettent à jour, quoi. There is this discussion, update, you know, about the situation and the feelings, and I think Louis need that speech with her to run and find the love and to assume that he's in love with Rose. So it was very important for my character, and I'm happy that the editing led that scene. So thank you.
You've been bad, done me wrong, but I've been friends since you've been gone.
You make a movie with costume sets. You have a lot of time to prepare the movie, and during the shooting, it's very difficult because you have not a lot of place to work directly on the set, but I try each day to have 1 hour, 2 hours to work with Déborah and to improvise something and to listen her ideas, and she has a lot of ideas. She each time
For a woman. No, I mean, I think you do the kind of film that looks like you. I mean, obviously, Régis is not a rough guy who's so macho. He's really, you know, subtle and delicate, and that's the way you wrote the script. And I think that's the way he chose Romain and I.
It was very important to show the progression of the character, and with the costume too. And yes, it was a very delicate work, and the costume, the girl who made the costume is fantastic, and Deborah bring a lot of things about the costume too.
Yeah, we tried to be really precise with the fabrics, for example. The fabrics of my costume looks much more expensive at the end of the movie. They are much expensive at the end of the movie than they had at the beginning, of course. Because at the beginning, she's wearing dresses that could have been her mother's, for example, because she's in this village. And in the 50s, you don't have a lot of dresses. You have a few dresses because you have to make it yourself. So it takes so much time.
Yes, and
in the end, she's just buying it, and it's tailor-made because she got so famous.
Welcome to the 39th Annual Typewriting Championship of the World.
You're filming women that are sitting concretely, and you have to make that dynamic and make it look like a sport, which it was a sport. So it was a big work to make that work and make it dynamic. Actually.
Yes, and it's very complicated to do, because even if we shot the competition in the order of the movie, you can't shoot all the scene like that. And for example, we in the national competition, you can begin with the end, you know, and for the actors it's very strong to do, because you have in a statement of very tension, directly, you know, and after you're supposed to be in the beginning of the competition. So it's difficult, and it was a very big challenge to do each time.
At the same time, I am really a bad loser, so...
So you made sure you were going to win.
Yeah, of course.
And it was funny to see the real competition between Mélanie Bernier, who played Annie Le Prince Ringuet,
The French champion.
the French champion, and
The ex-French champion.
voilà.